Good morning. Good morning, everybody. What's happening? So, it's a Sunday, August 10th, and today we're going to talk a little bit about whether or not people are ready to live here, which I kind of find humorous, but it's a test. And I'm going to give that test. The audio has not been upgraded. It's the same audio that I always have. Everybody, I just don't understand this, because I have a friend who is in filmmaking. He's the mic didn't work today. The mic worked today. The mic didn't work today. And I'm like, the mic is on all the time. I don't do anything. I don't know what's the deal. And to be quite honest, I have about 6 microphones, and I've tested all of them. And to be honest, I can't really tell the difference between most of them. A couple of them, yeah, okay, they're not very high quality. I can tell that those are the lower grade. There's 2 of them that I can tell. Then there's 2 of them that I go, well, maybe that's kind of better, maybe. But they're just, I don't know. Anyway, it is what it is, But I did buy a couple of these things, which they are necklaces. And the reason I bought this necklace for dirt cheap is, what, it doesn't open up now? The reason I bought it for dirt cheap is because, well, I can't even open it up now. I don't know why. What did I do here? Oh, I see. Wonderful. Oh, man. This is the one that I brought with me, too. The one that I brought with me is hard to open. I just got these little chains. It's a dog tag. but it has the chain on it. So I can take this off the dog tag, and then you put this around the microphone, and the microphone hangs. So I got a couple of them just in case I want to do that, but anyway, I didn't want to do it today, because why? I got this shirt, everything is copacetic, so listen, today we're going to talk about the wife for pay in Thailand. Oh, what am I talking about? This is the wrong, I got the wrong one open. Oops, sorry, we're not talking about that. That's a video. We're talking about we're talking about the Thailand Expat test. Are you truly ready to live here? And I'm gonna talk about this, and I'm gonna test people. We're gonna test you guys if you want to take the test, and it's gonna tell about your money. There's a money test, there's a money category, patience category, social and relationship category, lifestyle adaptability category. Well, that's a video coming up, and then legal and stability category, and then you're gonna answer questions, and you're gonna see, where you stand and if you're ready to come over here. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of people here. They have got their. I don't even know how to say it, but it's like, why do I get? I mean, I have some smart people that come in to. I have some smart people that come into the chat sometimes, and that have been members for a long time. I mean, that kind of goes without saying. They got basic common sense. But man, I got a lot of people that they just don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. I mean, seriously, it's sad. Now, I got a guy who sent me a message, I guess it was just earlier today, or early this morning, like really early. And he says, and this is not necessarily speaking of his intelligence, it's just, this guy doesn't belong here. Okay, and he freely admits he would never live here. But he says, man, I've been here a month traveling around and am over it. Meeting a friend in Bangkok tomorrow who's just flown in from Oz, and we had some riding planned up north again. I think he means motorcycle riding. But I just can't be bothered. Thailand just grinds you down with its relentless, chaotic traffic. Heat, noise, and pollution. Now, I can see where that could get to them. I don't like the pollution here. I don't think anybody really goes, wow, our pollution is really bad today, I'm so happy. I don't think that happens. There is a lot of noise pollution when you go outside and you're amongst people walking around, and there's businesses and there's things going on. But like when I go into my place, when I go into my house, it's peaceful. There's no noise. As far as the heat goes, you need to learn how to handle the heat here. It's not about, oh, Scott's been here 30 years, he can handle the heat so well. Oh my God, I don't know how he does it. He just adapts. No, I don't adapt. I hate the heat. I don't like sweating my ass off. If you remember, many years ago, I made a video where I said, how do I stop all the back sweat and ass crack sweat from showing in my pants? I mean, I go walking down the street, and after a couple of hours of walking, the back of my pants, I got a line down my ass crack because I'm sweating. Now I don't do that anymore. You know how come I don't do that? Because I don't walk for 5 hours anymore. I don't feel the need to do that. I mean, okay, if you're exercising, that's one thing, but you don't really need to walk for 5 hours unless you're planning on doing a marathon or something. Which, okay, but whatever. Then you wear the right clothing. But I don't sweat that much now. First of all, you don't need to be walking out in the blazing sun. I mean, if you're going to walk a 5-minute walk, okay, I understand. 10-minute walk, I understand. But if you're going to walk like 45 minutes or an hour, no. Take a motorbike. Take a taxi. Do whatever you got to do. And this guy's talking about the chaotic traffic. Dude, where are you staying? Take the SkyTrain. Take the subway. Take the boat taxi. Be smart. Don't be an idiot. And I'm not saying you're being an idiot because you're not doing that. But, you know, and then when you do take a Grab or a taxi, it's very simple. You get in, you know there's going to be traffic. It can be Grab, Bolt, I don't care what it is. It can be a regular taxi. You get in, you relax, you sit back, you turn your music on, and you just say, I'm being chauffeured. And it changes the whole way that you look at everything. When I go out, every time I go out and take a taxi or I gotta go somewhere, I'm being chauffeured. Today I thought I was gonna go to Anonymous Coffee, that's the name of it. And I just decided not to because I just don't feel like going out. But if you just get into the taxi, now I probably would have taken a motorbike to go there. But if you get into a taxi and you just sit down and you relax, turn on a little music, turn on a podcast, whatever you want to do, and chill. That's all you got to do. Just chill. And you know what? If you don't have the money to take a Grab or a taxi when you come here, and I would suspect that he does because he says he's dealing with the relentless chaotic traffic, then you shouldn't come here. If you can't afford a taxi, you shouldn't come here. And I've known guys, it's like, they've met me here. They're guys visiting. They've met me. And I go, so where are you going? You got to go to the taxi stand or whatever? Oh, no. And they go over and they go to the bus stop. I'm like, why are you taking a bus, man? It'll take you like 2 hours by bus. If you take the taxi, it's going to take you like 30 minutes. Take the SkyTrain, you know, whatever. It just makes no sense to me. Anyway, we always get these losers that come in. They gotta speak their mind, and I do get a couple of. I do have some people that have been leaving some messages a little more frequent, but you know what? I got a lot more subscribers now, and so I just go, well, it's par for the course. This is YouTube. You're gonna get dimwits who write comments. I had a guy yesterday write to me or day before yesterday that said, know-it-all guy, and he spelled no as in K-N-O-W, he spelled it N-O. You know, geniuses is what I have. If you can't spell the word no, like I know you, then you don't deserve to leave a comment. You're an idiot. Or maybe you need to go back to school, I don't know. But let me keep reading this guy's message. My quiet life living remotely is much more agreeable to me on every level. Well, then live quietly. I mean, you know, that's just very simple. Plus, hearing Thai constantly every day has also gotten to me, even though I've tried to learn the language. Okay, so if it's gotten to you, then you just need to leave. I mean, you know, I'm not trying to be an asshole and say, well, if you don't like it, leave. No, I understand. I go to the Philippines and I hear them speaking Tagalog and I'm like, oh, Jesus, they're doing my head in. I mean, really, that's how I feel. Now, you know, Thai doesn't bother me. Maybe because I speak it, but whatever. Plus, deep down, the Thais just don't like us. Now, that's spoken like a guy who just doesn't understand the culture very much. You know, most Thais, if you think about it, most Thais don't have time in their lives to purposely dislike you. Oh, I don't like that foreigner because he's foreign. They just don't have the time. Some of them may not like you, but they may not like you for their own personal reasons. Has nothing to do with being Thai. Now, I'm not talking about out in like in Pattaya or Phuket or in some parts of Bangkok where you get, you got all tourists. And the Thais are just like, all I see is money because I don't want to deal with your bullshit that you're giving me. Well, yeah, okay, some are going to. But guess what? When you go to the United States, I can tell you I don't hang out with a bunch of people that I don't get along with. I don't go out, no offense, it could be Indians, it could be Cubans, it could be whoever, but I just don't go out and hang out with, 25 Indians because I think like I'm going to have a great time. I just don't do that. I hang out with people that I know. It's my friends. Now, I used to have an Indian friend a long time ago, and we went out all the time. We went to the bars, me, him, and another guy, another white guy. We all went out, and he used to tell us about what his parents would tell him to do and stuff. We were just like, okay, whatever, it doesn't bother me. But, the bottom line is if he feels like they don't like him, it's not us, I can tell you that, because I go out, and when I go out and speak Thai to people and stuff like that, I don't have any problems at all. They don't give me any grief. They don't do anything. I don't know who here. Let me tell you something. I'm sitting in a different spot right now. And there's a reason why. There's a guy, he used to go sit in the back. And he'd be there at 8:30, 9 o'clock every day. Well, he decided to come in a little bit early yesterday and today. And there's nobody else in this place, and the motherfucker took my spot. He's sitting where I sit every day. And I'm like, you got the whole place to yourself. You see me every day sitting there. And yet you go over and you want to sit in my spot. Whatever. I have my own spot. Whatever it is. It doesn't matter. But it's like when you're sitting somewhere and you have the whole room full of chairs, and you're sitting in one chair, and some guy comes and sits right next to you. He doesn't sit with one space between you. He doesn't sit across the room. He doesn't sit looking at you from another chair. No, he goes and sits right next to you. That's kind of what it's like. I don't know if he is. To me, he's he's got all his food laid out. He got one little drink. Whatever. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to come here for a couple of days. I have some things that I need to do, so I'm not going to come here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here right when they open. And I'm going to be here and take that fucking spot. And I'm going to see when he comes in, he's going to come over here like he's going to sit down, and he's going to be like, ugh. I'm going to see what he thinks. Jesus Christ. All right, so he says they're very insular, very nationalistic, controlled, structured, non-critical thinking people. Could never live here. Okay, I understand. You don't want to live here. So don't. Good. I'm glad you don't live here, because for somebody like me who just doesn't care, I just don't care. Guess what? Some of them are very insular. Some of them are very nationalistic. I talk to my wife, I talk to her friends. That's not how they are. It's so stupid that people think this way because of a select few that they've come across. Non-critical thinking people. Well, I understand about the non-critical thinking because that's how they're taught in school. However, when you see Thais who have gone abroad, who have traveled abroad extensively, or have studied in the UK or the US or Australia, those people are not the same as everybody else. So all Thais are not alike. That's what I'm trying to say with this. So, but if he doesn't want to come here, this is a guy who doesn't like Thailand. Okay, if you don't like Thailand, then don't come back. That's all. Go to Vietnam. Go to Cambodia. Go wherever you want to go. I don't care where you go. And quite frankly, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so like I said, today we're going to talk a little bit about Um, no, we're not talking about wife for pay. We're talking about the Thailand Expat. And do people really belong here? Now, the way that it's going to work is this test will have 15 questions. Each is worth 0, 1, or 2 points. 2 is yes, you're fully ready in that area. 1 is maybe you could manage, but it might be challenging. And 0 is a solid no. Grading at the end, 26, and I'll go over this at the end too. 26 to 30 points, you're well prepared. Thailand long-term is realistic for you. 20 to 25 possible, but you have some real gaps to address. 15 to 19, you're in the danger zone. Expect a rough adjustment. Below 15, you're probably romanticizing Thailand. Think before you move. All right, so let me just get into a couple things here first, though. Let's, like always, I want to try to keep it real. And people see Thailand on Instagram or YouTube, and I don't even want to get into the YouTubers who are just not really, they put up some vastly, how can I say this? They put up a title that is so out of whack. I'm leaving Thailand. And all they're doing is going to take a border run. And it's like, I'm leaving Thailand forever. And then they go take a border run. Well, I decided to come back. All right, that's the kind of shit that you see on YouTube sometimes, and you see people, oh my God, I got this great place. It was only $900. $900, I could get you 2 houses for that much. Seriously, I could get you 2 houses for $900. It's unbelievable. But anyway, and a lot of people say, oh, I can live here, warm weather, cheap. Oh, it's so cheap there. Okay. Yeah, you want to eat Thai food all the time and live in a shack. Yeah, it's cheap. Great food, beautiful beaches, true. Beautiful women. Listen, I hate to tell you this about the women, okay? The beautiful, really beautiful, I'm talking about smoking hot 9s, 10s. The Thai guys already got them. Otherwise, the chick's a hoe. And that brings her down a couple of notches just because she's a hoe. You're never going to make her a housewife, or at least more than likely you will never do that. And all the ones that are 9s and 10s are pretty much the kind that are out of reach for you guys. I hate to say this. You could get some middle to upper class that looks really good. And you think, oh my God, she's high-so. No, she's not. She's not high-so. If she's high-so, she don't have to say nothing about being high-so. Remember that. If she says to you, oh, yeah, my friend and me, we so high-so. Now, if they're joking around, that's one thing. Now, the thing is, this guy's fucking sleeping over here. Unbelievable, man. I've lived in the Philippines for 8 years now, and I have a 4-year-old. I think I passed at this. Well, that's the Philippines. I don't know, I've been to the Philippines many, many times. And I like the Philippines, and I like the people and all that stuff, but I like Thailand better. And to say you're going to pass the Thai test because you're in Philippines is kind of ridiculous. They're 2 different countries, my friend. I hate to tell you that. Here's the thing, and I say this all the time. Living here is not the same as being a 2-week millionaire. It's just not. It's a completely different lifestyle. And I can't describe all of it to you, but you will know when you get here and you become someone who is actually an expat. You're not some jerk off who thinks you're an expat and you're living like tomorrow's your last day. You're living like you're on a vacation. A vacation is like a highlight reel, and living here is like a full movie that continues. You got good scenes, bad scenes, boring scenes, frustrating scenes. There's ups and downs. It's like life. It is life. You go on a vacation, hopefully you don't have too many downs. You have a lot of ups. You have a lot of things you go, wow, that was fantastic. That's what I always look for. Now, I'm going to a place, it's not a tourist place. I'm going next month. It is not a tourist place. And Then I'm going somewhere else that's a little bit of a tourist place, but there's not that many people there, so it should be pretty cool. But I'll get into that later. And then also, I am contemplating doing something that may mean that I'm going to be doing something different, very, very different, and it might surprise you guys. But I have to get into it a little bit more. I'm researching it now. It looks really good. I just have to pay the money, and it's not cheap, but it could mean a lot of things for me. So anyway, I don't want to say anything more about it. I've already said something, which is more than I should. Let's see. I see people that come here and they arrive and they build a great life, but I've also seen the people that come here and then for whatever reason, I'm going back home. 6 months. They just couldn't handle it. Some people just can't handle it. You may think you're sitting there, oh, what's the big deal? I've been to Thailand before. Well, you've been here as a tourist, probably. But if you come here and live here, it's quite a bit different. I've seen guys who most people would consider them fairly wealthy, and I've seen, and they don't do very good sometimes. And I've seen guys who are, scraping by, but they survive, which in the beginning, that was me. I just scraped by. I just knew you have to cover your nut. You always have to remember, cover your nut. You always got to put money away to cover your nut. If your bills are $800 a month, put away, 6 months, put away $4,800. So that if you ever run out of money, you go, okay, well, I got money in the bank just in case, so I got time to find a job, and then hopefully you'll find one. Anyway, yeah, this is an interactive test, so I'm going to have to give you the questions. But I want you to be honest with yourself. Where am I here? Oh, I missed the... Let me see something here. Did I put that in there? No, I guess I'm just wrong. Okay. All right, so, yeah, we're going to do this test. It's 5 sections, 15 questions. But be honest with yourself, because lying just means you'll get a rude awakening later, or you're just cheating. And at the end, we'll total your points and see exactly how ready you are. And if you're already living here, I want to hear if you passed this test before moving, or you had to learn some of the lessons the hard way. So get ready to type in the chat. Now, money is the first thing. This is the first category. Is everybody ready? I hope so. I started this chat at 8:30 for Mr. Billy, because sometimes I know he likes to start earlier. And I decided I wanted to do it at 8:30 to see if I got more people in. And he's not here. What are you going to do? Anyway, let me get into these questions here. Is everybody ready? Just type a Y or a star or something. Let me know you're ready. Because if I don't see a bunch of stars, then I'm going to be like, all right, I should wait on this. Do it. I like that. Do it. All right, there's the other Bruce. How you doing, Bruce? So we got at least 4 people. We need 5. Do I hear 5? One more. Jono, oh my God, Jono, I know you're in the background, walking around, probably cleaning your house, eating in your underwear. Oh God, all right, let me go on here. Hey Jono, how you doing, man? Let me go on here. Money is the first thing we're talking about, not because it's the most important thing in life, although it kind of is, but because if you fail this part, nothing else really matters. Immigration doesn't take good intentions as payment. And I'll tell you something, the other day I had a guy who wrote in and said, you didn't answer me, which I did answer him the first time he wrote me, but I don't know what he was trying to do, but he said, you know, I have a son there. I just don't have the money to live there, but I really want to come to Thailand, and I'm wondering if maybe they'll make an exception for me and waive the financial requirements and let me be there so I can take care of my kids. And I went, no. If they did that, they'd have to let every other schmuck who didn't have any money. Anybody can make a kid. You don't have any money, how are you taking care of the kid? You know, I understand maybe you have a little bit and you're taking care of them with that, but you don't have enough to really live here and be comfortable. So, question 1, do you have reliable income every month, enough to live comfortably and not just scrape by? I got to write down my answers here. So my answer is yes, I do. Even though some people may think that, you know, I'm dirt poor and that I live from my wife and all this other shit. No. If they only knew. That's what I'd say. I'm smarter than the average bear, believe that. Number 2. Did I get any answers? No, I didn't. All right, you can do this on your own. Number 2, could you handle a 20 to 30% increase in the cost of living over the next 5 to 10 years without panic? Yes. It would mean being a little smarter with my money and stuff like that, but okay. Question number 3. Let me ask that one question again. Could you handle a 20 to 30% increase in cost of living over the next 5 to 10 years without panic? Question number 3. Could you survive financially if the exchange rate turned against you for a couple of years? I'm going to say yes, but I'm close on a maybe. It depends. If it goes down like 20%, that's a difference. If it goes down to 25%, you know, the baht used to be pegged at 25. When I first got here, it was 25. And it eventually went up to 50, 55, 56. I don't remember. But, yeah, I wouldn't want it to go down that far. No way. I mean, I could get by, but that would mean some serious cutbacks. So that's question number 3. Could you survive financially if the exchange rate turned against you for a couple of years? Now, well, right now it's 32.33. And to me, if it stays above 32, I'm happy. But quite honestly, I want it up at 35. But above 32, okay, just stay above 32. And every day that it goes up, I'm happy. So type yes if you've already budgeted for worst case scenarios. Type no if you're winging it and hoping for the best. All right, so I'm going to say yes. Now, costs are rising here, maybe slower in the West, but they are rising. I hate to tell you guys, Thailand is not cheap unless you want to be a cheapskate, unless you want to live like a pauper, like a poor person. Now, I know there are people living out in the villages and they're living off of, some guy wrote me the other day and says, I live off of $300. Now, to me, I don't care if he lives in the village or not, and he's got a house and he's got a car that's already paid for. $300 is barely enough to cover his food. And then, you know, what happens if he needs clothes? What happens if he needs, you know, dental work? What happens if he needs to go to the doctor? Maybe he's got insurance. Okay. You know, what happens if he needs this or that? Well, guess what? He doesn't have any money. Now, if you're, you know, you got $700, $800 and you're living, there he is. You're living out in the middle of nowhere and, you know, you've got a house and you don't pay a house payment. All you pay for electric is maybe $1,500 a month. You pay $200 for your water. You don't have cable. You got internet, and that's maybe you pay 600 baht, 800 baht for that. Okay, yeah, you can live off of that much. You're still not going to be living the way that I would want to live. I mean, you know, I like to know, oh, if I want to go out and get something, well, I want to go out and get a shirt, I want to go out and get it. I don't want to have to save for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months to be able to buy a shirt or to go somewhere. If I want to go somewhere, if I want to fly home, I want to be able to fly home. I don't want to go, well, I don't have any money. I'm going to have to save up this from this $700. I only got $150 left over. That means it's going to take me 6 months just to get money for a ticket. Now, of course, the bot can always go stronger and crush your spending power overnight. It's done that to a lot of currencies. I don't know that it's doing it with the US dollar, but we'll see. And just remember that medical emergencies are not cheap if you want good care. If you want to go to a private place, listen, you know, Tom talks about his hand. He cut his hand open. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. He cut his hand open. And instead of going to a private hospital that wanted 250,000 baht to do the surgery on his hand, they had to sew it all up and repair it, a nerve and a tendon in his hand. He went to some other place. I don't remember the name of it, but you know, maybe 30 minutes away. They stabilized him at the hospital. It cost him like 6,000 baht. And then he went over to this other hospital, public hospital. He paid 15,000 baht, and that was for the surgery, for the doctors, the nurses, the stay in the hospital, a one-night stay. I mean, that was for everything. He paid 15,000 baht, and he did have insurance, and his insurance paid the rest, but he only paid 15,000. No, the insurance covered the 15,000. That's what it was. It wasn't more than 15,000. It was 15,000. 15,000 and some change. So there are ways to get around it, but your 15,000 is almost, you know, what he paid is about $450. You know, for some people, that's a chunk of money. All right, so let's get into section 2. Patience. What? Could you handle the they're not the same. The cost of living is different from the currency and the exchange rate. They are two separate entities. If you think about it, they are. All right. Thailand moves at its own pace. Sometimes that's oh so charming, and sometimes it is rather infuriating. Yeah, sometimes it is a bit irritating that they just take their time. And I've been in places, and you know, like I'm like, where's the staff here? And then I look, and the girl is like sitting behind the counter on her phone playing some little game. She doesn't want anybody to see her. Now the guy who took my spot, he's fucking sleeping. He is sleeping. He'll be here all goddamn day. So that's why I want to I want to come in here earlier like I used to. I used to come here like at 8:15. So probably on, what's today, Sunday? Nah, Monday and Tuesday are holidays. I'm not coming in. Maybe on Wednesday or Thursday. Thursday, maybe I'll stream on Thursday. I'll come in on Thursday, and I'm going to come in at 8 o'clock. Right when the doors open. I'm coming in, boom, right for this. Anyway. Unbelievable. Let me see this real quick here. Let me see. Well, that's, if I show, I don't want to show you, but he's got lunch. He's got a little, he always comes with a can of Coke. No, it's because he's not close enough to me. But I find it irritating that he's sitting in the spot that I sit in every goddamn day, or almost every day. And there's nobody here. He could sit in his own seat. He could sit somewhere else. You don't, you know, that's the thing. You live in Thailand, man. You don't need to buy a tent and go out and, oh, I'm gonna stay in this lot. God, man, you can get rooms for dirt cheap here. 50 bucks, 100 bucks, you know, 200 bucks, easy. I've said it before. I see these guys, they're constantly, and you know, Jono, sorry, but Jono has a nice place, and he's set up, and he's comfortable, and that's what counts. And he's in a convenient area, if that's the kind of area you want to be around. But I talk about, there's guys, they go out and buy 50,000, they rent a 50,000 baht apartment, and they think it's so great because, oh, it's got 2 bedrooms and 4 air conditioners, it's got a washer and dryer, and it's got all these amenities here. And it's like, wait a minute, you could get a house and buy those amenities yourself and still have money left over. You don't need to pay more than 25,000 baht down in Sukhumvit for a really nice house. But you have to look. And some guy the other day was asking me about it, and he goes, can you tell me a publication in Thai? I told him, get a Thai publication. He's like, can you give me one name? I'm like, no. If you can't look for a publication yourself, you ain't going to look for a room. And he's like, you're useless. Okay, I'm useless. Why? But I'm the one living here. And he's the one who's like, yeah, I'm planning on living there in a year. Okay. You know. They're still out there, man. Those $50 rooms are still out there. So my point is, it's not difficult to get a place. All right, let me go here about the patience test. Can you handle slow service, last-minute cancellations, and Thai time? You should know what Thai time is without losing your cool. I got no problem with it because I expect it. That's what I expect. All right, can you handle slow service, last-minute cancellations, and Thai time without losing your cool? Number 5, can you keep calm when bureaucracy makes no sense at all? Of course, I can. And you know why I can? Do you know why I can? Because this is Thailand. It's not your country. It has nothing to do with you. It's the way they do things. And guess what? You just, might been right. Might been right, cop. Doesn't matter to me. Oof. All right. So can you keep calm when bureaucracy makes no sense at all? Frustrating when I go to 7-Eleven, one staff member and someone in front pays like 3,000 bill and there's a line a mile long. Yeah, but Raymond, are you in a hurry? Are you in a big hurry? Is your time that valuable where you're like, wow, I can't wait an extra 4 minutes because there's a line here? Maybe they'll open up another thing. And that's the thing here. You just can't, and you know, I'm not saying that it doesn't always get to me, but most of the time it does. Well, no, I can't. I don't understand. It's not like the place is full or even close to being full. There's nobody here. And he sat in his chair for months. I'm not here one day until 8:45 or whatever. I come in, the guy's sitting in my chair. I'm like, you're an asshole. You come in, you sit down here, you know I sit here all the time. You did it on purpose. And he's here again. I come in here again, and I came here at 8:15 today. The fucking guy is here. So on Monday, I'll be here early. Just to be an asshole myself. Hey, you know what? I understand. First come, first serve. And I don't mind things moving slowly, and that is true. And, you know, I would never say anything to him like, oh, you got to get out of my chair. I mean, I would never do that. But I'll just come early, and I'll just sit somewhere else. You know, doesn't bother me. But the fact that he's did that is like, anyway. All right, let me go. Question number 6. Exactly. Thank you. Are you okay with the rules that change overnight with 0 warning? Well, I'm not really okay with it, but I understand it and I let it go. Because what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to bitch and moan I remember a couple of guys who bitched and moaned. There was one guy, what's that guy's name? You know, the guy that's got all these websites about Thailand, and he thinks he's Mr. News Guy and everything. I can't remember what his name is. Richard something. And I don't even remember the name of the site right now. But he was trying to talk about the dual pricing and how, I shouldn't be here and shouldn't do this. And he went to go do his visa, and there was a problem with it. Now, eventually they let him in. But the problem was that supposedly some paperwork was not the correct paperwork. And they maybe they're just making it difficult on them. That might be what they were doing. I don't really know. But, you know, it's pretty suspicious that it happens right after he started this campaign to change. I mean, listen, I would love it if they changed everything. But they're not going to. And if they do, great. All right, so that last question was, are you okay with rules that change overnight? If you've ever waited, with zero warning, if you've ever waited 3 hours for a 15-minute appointment in Thailand, please tell me about it in the chat. That almost never happens to me. Maybe an hour. You know, I get there I got a 4 o'clock appointment and they don't see me until, 4:55 or something. But that doesn't usually happen. So I'm fine with this kind of stuff. All right, so if you go to immigration, generally they are not the speediest, but, they got their hands full. Banks, I don't even like going into banks. I don't particularly like. Sometimes I go in and I'll get a lady and she's extremely nice, very friendly, and I just speak Thai to her. I don't speak any English, and everything goes great. And then sometimes I come in and the lady starts off trying to speak English to me, which I appreciate. And then I start speaking Thai back to her, and then she starts just giving me a hard time. That's happened a couple of times. And I just go, I'm in a bank. I need service, man. I don't need this bullshit from some lady. Yeah, utilities. I don't have any problems with my utilities because my electric, my water, my internet, I always pay them through my phone. They're always paid on my app, and I have absolutely no problem. My American Express card, always paid through my app. I don't have any problems. I had major dental work done here recently, and on one appointment they were 5 minutes late and apologized profusely. Exactly. I think he deliberately took your chair on purpose. I bet you he sits in his other spot when you're not there. I don't know. To me, he's just an old man. Well, he's probably as old as I am. That's the thing now. I see somebody and I go, oh, they're really old. And I'm like, how old are you? 65? So you're 2 years older than me? I don't know. Do I look like I'm 65? I don't know. Doesn't really matter. I don't feel that old. Remember the Mipe and Rye mindset, which is, I think it's fantastic. It's great when you need to relax and frustrating when you need to get things done. Not really. If somebody tells you Mipe and Rye, you just go, okay, all right, it's going to get done eventually. You know that. If they tell you Mipe and Rye, I mean, it's just chill out, lay back, and it's going to get taken care of. You either adapt or every day is going to be a battle. Well, that's good. I'm going to be 63 in 3 weeks. There you go. Bunch of old people here. Are you collecting Social Security or not yet? Well, it's really none of your business, but yes, I am. Lucky me. All right, so let's go on here. The social and relationship test. You are a foreigner here. You will always be a foreigner here. You will never be Thai. And that can be good, and it can be bad. There are times I don't want to be a Thai. Let me tell you something. You think that foreigners get to run around and get screwed around by the government here? You should think, how do the Thais feel? because they're getting screwed all the time. And they just take it with a grain of salt and just move along. So remember that. All right, question number 7. Can you accept being an outsider, possibly forever, even if you're here decades? I don't like it, really, that I will always be the white boy here. I will always be the outsider. I will never be Thai, and I probably will never get citizenship here. I don't have to do any of that yet. So I don't like it, but I understand it, okay? I mean, so I'm getting all 2s right now. Lucky me. So the question was, can you accept being an outsider, possibly forever, even if you've been here for decades? Well, I have been, and I accept it. All right, number 8. Are you prepared for cultural differences in relationships, both romantic and platonic? I wasn't, but now I am. So yes. So the question is, are you prepared for cultural differences in relationships, both romantic and platonic? I am not taking Medicare, I can tell you that right now. I don't know. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I have to think about it, but I got a couple of years I can think about it. And it really just depends. It depends on a lot of things. All right, so let me get into this one here. The last question, question number 9, last question in this category. Could you live happily here? Could you live here happily without a romantic partner? Yeah, I could. I don't want to. I mean, I got a wife. You know, we got things going on, and you know, I don't think she's ever going to leave me, and I don't think I'm going to leave her. You know, if she was to pass away, God forbid, you know. At this point, I would probably, I probably wouldn't be with anybody else. I mean, you know, other than to fulfill my needs, and that would be about it. But that's how things usually work, you know. Well, I don't have to worry about it. Believe me, I'm good, man. I'm all good. I don't have any of these issues. I'm very lucky. I'm fortunate. I don't have this shit happening to me. And it's not gonna happen to me. Bruce Smith, I think you have the Thai address, and maybe you'll get one of those proof of life letters. I don't know, because I think you're just in the beginning stages, but maybe you'll get one of those letters. I don't know. My friend Tom has a U.S. address. So I have an address in the U.S. I don't have a virtual mailbox. I don't have that. I have an address. And then if that address were to, for some reason, I couldn't use that address, I have another address. Oh, well, there you go. That's good. That's very good. All right, let me get to this. Could you live here happily without a romantic partner? Yes, I could. I got kids, and they're starting to do their own thing. Oh, by the way, Alex is in Hua Hin, and he's fishing, which I kind of find a little bit. He doesn't like to touch a lot of things. He's not like when he's eating shrimp, he doesn't want to touch the shrimp. He wants to use a fork and knife. So him fishing is a big deal, and he's caught 4 or 5 fish now. So good for him. I don't know if he's going to be back today. Hey there, Sammy. What's happening? So you'd have to be, oh, you're rating me. Oh, hello guys. Hello Japan. Hello everybody. What's happening? Now, would you still want to live here if you never had a partner in Thailand? Type yes or no. I'm getting all these messages. Oh my goodness. Japan, the last time I was there was for a Pride event. Well, the last time that I was in the country and stayed there was for the Pride event. Listen, Sam, I was going to come over there with my kid again. We were going to come. The tickets were like 9,000 baht. They were like $300. I was like, oh, we got to get on this. And he got a job. So now he doesn't have any time off for a year. He has, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks off, something like that. Scott, how old are your kids? They're adults. Would you ever interview them? Would be very interesting to hear their perspective. They're 24 and 22. But to be honest, I don't see it happening. And the reason is not because of me. I mean, I could come up with some things that I could talk to them about, but they don't want to be interviewed. Especially Nicholas. Alex might be a little more up for it, but Nicholas would be like, I got things to do. You know, the big joke in the house is I got work to do. Because on the Trailer Park Boys, there's a guy who he's like threatening to beat everybody up, and Cyrus. And then they go over to him, they go and stand up to him and get in his face. And they tell him, get the fuck out of here, you know. And he's like, I don't care, I'm leaving anyway, I got work to do. And so now all of us at the house go, I got work to do. I got work to do. And so, you know, Alex, I'm like, what are you doing, Alex? I thought we were going to go to the movies on Monday or something. I got work to do. I don't want to go. I got work to do. Scott, put yourself in the thumbnails. Dad, I never know what live streams are yours these days. Don't make me read, Scott. I don't like to put myself in the thumbnail. I hate it. Honestly. I know I should do it, and I probably, now that you're saying something about it, maybe it's a good idea, but I don't like it. You know, I used to put the one in the little corner, and that was like, oh, well, that's a good photo. I got to get Jono to take some more photos of me that are good, because I don't want to take my own photos because they always come out shitty. Because I'm always I'm using the phone, or if I'm using the camera, it's always on a timer, and it's a pain in the ass. So no interview with the kids, I'm sorry. That's not going to happen. I don't know, maybe, you know, Nicholas now is in film, he's in a couple of film classes. He's got 2 films he has to make, so he's a director and he's an assistant director, and then he's also an actor in one of the movies. They're like 15 minutes long, 15 minutes and 10 minutes long, these movies. So he's got that to do. And he's constantly writing or editing something or talking to his friends about everything. So he's going to be like, leave me alone. And Alex is not even here. That's just what I was going to say, is my kids may not be around. So I'm going to be like, well, my kids ain't around. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I got nobody here. I'll be by myself. I'll be like Jono. I got shit to do. You know. I don't want to know about that. I don't want to know about those kind of photos. When was I in Hong Kong? I wasn't in Hong Kong before 98, no. But I went during the protest a few years ago. I think it was 4 or 5 years ago. And I was there all through the protest. Okay, so nobody wrote in, would you still live here if you never had a partner in Thailand? I mean, I hear all these guys going, oh yeah, okay, so Billy would live here without a partner. I get that. But the thing is, if I came here and I was alone and didn't have a woman, or I just had to go out and get the ones you pay for or something like that, I don't know if I'd come here. I mean, maybe. Maybe I'd be somewhere else. If I was single, probably be somewhere else. I wouldn't be here. To be honest, I don't think I would be. I might be in Ecuador. I might be in Portugal. I might be in Malta. I don't know where I'd be. I got no idea. Anyway, let me get to question number 10. Well, we still have a couple talking points here in the social aspect. Thailand is not a magic dating paradise. Real relationships, I've said this a million times, they take work. Friendships here can be somewhat different. Not everybody wants a deep, emotionally sharing type relationship, especially ties. Needing a relationship to be happy here is risky. Breakups can destroy your life if you are dependent on them. I wouldn't be dependent on them, but it is nice to know that when you go home after doing something, that you got a nice woman waiting there for you, and she's gonna, talk to you and hang out with you, and I like it. It's all right for me. All right, the lifestyle adaptability test. This is where a lot of people fail without realizing it. The day-to-day stuff. Question number 10. Can you handle the heat, humidity, and rainy season year-round without constant complaining? Well, I probably complain, but yes, I could. And I do. So the question is, can you handle the heat, humidity, and rainy season year-round without constant complaining? So that's question number 10. Question number 11. Are you okay with different hygiene standards, smells, and noise levels? I mean, to me, it's just part of living here. So that's a yes. Number 11 is yes. And the question was, are you okay with different hygiene standards, smells, and noise levels? All right, question number 12. Could you adapt to Thai food culture, including the dishes you don't like? Well, I did. I'll tell you something. I might eat Thai. Well, right now, I'm not really doing it because I'm trying to get back to where I'm at a good weight, where I'm happy with the weight that I'm at. So I don't eat much Thai food at all. But when I do eat Thai food, I've adapted to it, and I don't care. I mean, it's like I eat dishes, and I don't really like Tom Yum Goong. I don't like Pad Krapao. I don't like a lot of these things, so it doesn't really bother me. Yeah, I don't really. The thing is that with the heat, the thing that you do is you go out and you make sure you got shade when you're out. You make sure you can get to shade or get to air conditioning. And then when you don't have to be out, then you go in the air conditioning. You're paying for comfort. You're paying for convenience. All right, so number 12 was, could you adapt to Thai food culture, including the dishes you don't like? And the answer was yes. No problem. So what is the hardest thing about Thai daily life that you think you'd struggle to adapt to? Let's hear it. I'd like to know what you guys have to say. I'm trying to think, what is the hardest thing for me? Here, what is the hardest thing for me? Oh, where's that guy? I was going to read that message from that guy. Let me see here. If I can find this message, I'm going to read it. Because it was kind of rude. Hey, Cyrus, how you doing? How is everything? Oh, my goodness. Now, hang on a second here. Can't complain, man. Can't complain. Could be better, could be worse. Now this guy says, would never live in Thailand, but have the money to vacation there when I want. Okay, well, that's fine. I already read this one. That's a piece of cake, man. That's a piece of cake, really. The language, that'll take some work. But you know what? It's an ongoing thing. I mean, I'm still learning the language. Let me see who this jerk-off is. Okay, here it is right here. I'm going to have to read this in a minute, but let me finish this up. So you got to remember that if you're living out like in Suratani, like when I was down there last week, there is such a thing as boredom, rural boredom. Sometimes you're like, what am I going to do? There's not much to do here. Oh, well, I'll turn the TV on. Oh, well, I'll exercise. Oh, okay. You know, but then when you're in Bangkok, there's a lot of noise and you got to be able to filter that out. So you got to choose your poison. Street food is amazing, but guess what? It's not all that healthy, and sometimes it's not all that sanitary. But definitely it's not all that healthy most of the time. So for many people, they need to adapt their diets, adapt to whatever they can find here. And, you know, buying imported goods means that you're spending more money. And that, I mean, listen, sometimes I've been buying mackerel and sardines lately. They're in a can. Now I can get a whole pack of 12 for about 145 baht, and those are Thai. Or I can buy one can of fantastic mackerel, and it's 99 baht, $3, instead of say $4.20 or whatever. Which one do I buy? I buy the imported one because I like it, you know. But you got to be ready to say, okay, so I'm going to get this really nice bread. It's kind of like you say, I'm going to buy this really great bread, and this is almost $5. Instead of buying a bread that I can get for $1.50, but it's shit for you, what are you going to do? Well, I'd rather spend the money, to be honest. Okay, section 5, and this is the last section. The legal and stability test. If you don't understand visas and immigrations, you're playing with fire. Listen, I'm not going to go that far, just because if you have a problem, if you got money, you got a solution. All right, question 13. Do you fully understand the visa you'll use and the requirements to maintain it? Sounds simple, but for some people it's not. Do you fully understand the visa you use and the requirements to maintain it? So that's a yes. That's 2. All right, question 14. Could you handle being told you have to leave the country in 30 days due to a rule change? I would find a workaround. I couldn't handle it, honestly. If they told me you need to leave, I don't eat rice now, Billy. No rice. No rice, no potatoes. I eat a lot of cucumbers and tomatoes, and I have a lot of salmon, and I have grouper, and I have, what is the other one? What is that one? Barramundi. I have lamb. I have some chicken once in a while. And I have beef. I have a lot of beef. All right, question. The question 14 was, could you handle being told you have to leave the country in 30 days due to a rule change? I couldn't handle it, but I'd find a way around it. Whether I left the country and then came back and somewhere else and got a longer stay, or figured it out financially, whatever it would be. All right. Question number 15. Do you have a backup country if Thailand suddenly isn't an option? Yes, I do. And I always have the United States. So that's good to know. So there's your 15. Now, immigration rules change a lot more than people think, and financial requirements can jump, although they don't usually. Marriage has been 400,000, and the what's it called? Retirement has been 800K for a while. I mean, it used to be, it was 200,000 for a retirement visa. Then it was 400, and it's 800. So, you know, it does change, but what they usually do is grandfather you in on whatever it was that you've been paying. So if you don't let your visa lapse or your extension of stay lapse, then you're going to get the same amount that you always have got. So if you've always put in 800,000, you're always going to put 800,000 in, even if they raise it up to $1 million. But if you let your visa or your extension of stay lapse, and you just say, well, I'm going to be gone in the U.S. for a couple of months, and I'm not going to worry about it right now. Well, then when you go back, you're going to have to show $1 million baht. That's how it works. Make sure that you have Plan B. Even if you never use it, you need to have Plan B, and I always say you need to have Plan C as well. I got Plan B, it's the United States. But Plan C is, I got a lot of Plan Cs. So, you know, it could be Cambodia. It could be a temporary thing. You know, it could be Vietnam. It could be Ecuador. It could be Portugal. I got a lot. So, anyway, let's score it up. You should have a total out of 30 points. 2 for yes, 1 for maybe, 0 for no. So, I want to know what your grades are. I want to know what kind of, how you did on your test. I am not going to turn it into kimchi. Thank you, Charles. Thank you very much. Sawadee. Nice to see you. And thank you for that. Thank you for the very first super chat of the day. I appreciate it. I wasn't going to say anything about it today. But it's always nice when somebody uses one of the methods that is shown down below in the description. Oh, God. So thank you very much. Do you recommend keeping the money in the Thai account for the non-O visa or keeping it in the U.S. and using an agent? Do you know many people who use an agent, and do they recommend it? I know a lot of people who use the agent. Many people use the agent. And they never have a problem as long as they pay the money, because guess what? People who use the agent, those agents are making people a lot of money. And if they ever stopped it, that would be, I wouldn't say that it would be disastrous, because, you know, listen, it can happen. But there's a lot of companies out there, and there are some that are very, very reputable. But there are some out there that are not, and the ones that are not usually get found out. The ones that are, they're paying their due. It goes up like the mafia. Yeah, but you don't need to put $1 million baht in that bank if you want. You can put 850,000 in if you want, and then that bank account is insured for $1 million baht. Well, then you open another bank account. And if you have a retirement visa, opening a bank account should not be that big of a deal. I say should not be. It depends on the bank you go to. And like for me, it would be like, oh, I got to show my marriage visa, I don't have a marriage visa. Have to show my marriage certificate and all that other kind of stuff. Well, of course it does, but you don't hook up with somebody who's not a reputable agent. That's how it works. Listen, people know who the reputable agents are in Phuket, in Pattaya. I don't know about in Chiang Mai if they have any, and in Bangkok. People know, and the word gets around. I know, other people know, you know, so it's not that big of a deal. 30-30, but I'll only eat Thai food if no other choice, and the hygiene I can walk away from. could you afford the U.S.? Your under $300 rent would be like $2,000 in the U.S., especially in a place like Florida. Well, I wouldn't have any rent in Florida. I'll just say that. But now, could I afford it? No. Well, I could, I guess. We could. I wouldn't want to. I say no because to me, I'm like, I don't want to spend $2,000 on rent anywhere. You know, I mean, maybe if I'm staying in Monaco and I got plenty of money, okay, fine. But to spend that in Florida, I'd have to have a lot of money, more money than I have, far more money than I have. Yeah, I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't spend that much, and I know that, you know, I know people that are spending, you know, double, triple, quadruple that, and they pay it. But they pay it because their cost of living is relatively high, but their earnings are relatively high, far higher than most people make in Thailand. You know, I know people in Thailand that make 300,000. I know a guy, I don't know, the company makes a lot of money. His company makes a lot of money. And I haven't talked to him in a couple of years now, but he ran this company. It was his company. It is still his company. And they make probably millions every year. I don't know how much he pays himself. I have no idea, but he could be easily living off of, you know, 4 or 5 million baht a year, something like that. I mean, you know, pretty easily. So I'd like to, you got 28, Bruce? I got 26, but I think that's too high. Okay. Well, if you got a 25, let's say you got a 24. Where is my little, here it is. Even 20 to 25, you could make it, but you've got some gaps. Focus on those weak areas before making the leap. Yeah, I got 30. I'm ready. I'm ready. I guess I could move here. So, you know, I've seen people who did well on tests like these and they fail in real life. And I've seen people who barely pass and somehow they thrive. And the difference is in the mindset. And if you scored low, it doesn't mean you can't make it. It just means you need to prepare a little bit, maybe change your mindset and come for 1 or 2 or 3 longer visits, learn the language, sort out your finances, and get comfortable with uncertainty. I already know now. Listen, we've been talking about the weed thing for I don't know how long. A couple of years now. Oh, you got to have a prescription. Well, I still see that there are places open, and I don't think you got to fork over a prescription to them, but I see places that are closed too. So this is Thailand, you know. If you scored high, don't get cocky because the real test starts when you get here and when you start living here. The everyday annoyances, the curveballs, the things you can't predict, and that's where people adapt or pack their bags. And if you ask yourself, can I live here? And then you ask yourself, and you might go, oh yeah, I could live there. You ask yourself, can I live here well? And then you see what you're going to say. Could you live here and be prosperous and live and have a good life? That's the big question. This was fun. Thanks. I'm near the end of 2-month stay and planning a 4-month return in high season. All right. Good deal, man. You got to enjoy it. You got to enjoy it. Oh, God. All right, let me see where I am here. Oh, yeah, I wanted to read this message here. Lovely message from a guy. I have to like the language. Generally, don't like Southeast Asian languages, especially Thai. I love Japanese, though. I would say go live in Japan, talk to Sammy. Talk to TkyoSam. He's the man there. I don't have to, I mean, I gotta like the language. I don't have to love it. Could I learn Tagalog? Yes, I could. Could I learn, what is it, Bahasa or something like that, the Indonesian? Yeah, I could. Vietnamese, I don't particularly like Vietnamese or Chinese languages. But Vietnamese, you know, I learned, I don't know, 15, 20 different phrases when I was there. I've been there 4 times now. In Hong Kong, I learned some words there. You know, when I go there, I always do it. It doesn't really matter. When I went to China, I learned, you know, how to say a few words there. Burmese, yeah, okay, I can do it. I don't really like Burmese. I'm not really fond of the Burmese language, but I can. I mean, but to me, it's better than Vietnamese, Chinese, and, you know. And that's where I'd rank Thailand, you know. I mean, listen, I speak English, Vietnamese, and I used to speak a lot better Spanish. My Spanish just kind of fell by the wayside because I don't speak much Spanish now. But if I went to a Spanish country, within about 3 months, I'd be speaking, I wouldn't say fluent, but I would be speaking conversational Spanish. I had 2 years in school and grew up in South Florida where there's a lot of Cubans, so, you know. Anyway, let me see here. All right, so let me read this message from this guy. And, you know, I'll be frank, I think this guy's an asshole. You know, maybe he's just misunderstood, but I think he's an asshole. And I'll read my response to him as well. I hate to give him the time, but I will. Scott, you haven't really said, well, you learned from Spain. You haven't really said why you manage in Thailand while others can't. Okay, so many of them get homesick. Many of the expats get homesick within the first 5 years or so and leave. We can guess that. Okay, I guess you can guess that. It's not just about being homesick. It's about being homesick for your family, for your friends, for your food, for your lifestyle. It's not just, oh, I'm homesick, I gotta go home. Usually there are specificities that you can attach to that. So it may not be that easy just to guess. And it also has to do with maybe you need medical care, which maybe I could go home for that. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll do that. I have some ideas, like what I said was, I have some things that may be coming up January, February, March that might surprise you guys. But Scotty might be going back to work. But I'm not sure yet. Depends on a few things, you know, and we'll see. So he goes on to say, I'd imagine that when you arrived there 30 odd years ago, the country was quite a different place. Yes, it was. You would have been something of a curiosity, and it was generally easy to blend in with a few social pleasantries and whys, but now farangs are everywhere. Well, I got news for you. There were farang there back then, and, you know, yes, I was a bit of an anomaly when I went out to the villages, but in Bangkok, it was no big deal. People just gave you the nod, yeah, all right, whatever. They didn't care. That's the thing. They didn't really care about me. You know, I'm not that special. The Thais are probably less welcoming and supportive now than back when you were eased into their culture while staying on the periphery as you seem to be now, question mark. It's getting to the nasty part in a minute. I don't know if I was eased into the culture or not, but the bottom line is I assimilated. I integrated as much as I can integrate. I'm sure there are some people that are more integrated than me, for sure. But I have done a fair job, a good job, decent job of integrating into the society, and that's why I've been here for more than 30 years. I mean, it's just that simple. Now, he goes on to say, it was during those early years when I guess you'd met your wife, which indicated you were looking to stay. Well, I had been here, let me see here. Yeah, I had been here for about 4 years, and then I met her. And it took about a year for us to get everything situated, and before we started really getting into it. And then she got pregnant, you know, we got married, she got pregnant, and the rest is history. She got pregnant again a little bit later, you know, and that was it. It's very simple. And did I want to stay? Well, I had been here for a couple of years already. I wanted to stay. That's why I came back. After I ran out of money, and I went back and worked on a fishing boat, which sucked, to be honest, I came back, and I made a go of it, and I had money, and I lived here. And I didn't need anybody else. I didn't need anybody. So, you know, I did it all on my own. I didn't do it with her help. Do you work, or does your wife support you? No, I don't work right now. I'm retired. And as I said a million times before, when I first got here, I sold things online, and I made a little bit of money just to cover my nut. And then I became a photojournalist. I wrote an article for a magazine. They picked it up, and they said, well, we like your photos too. They took my photos, and I said, can I write for you again? Oh, certainly. Okay. And I thought, maybe I could make some money doing this. So I started sending out my stuff to other places, and the next thing I knew, it's like, okay, well, there's one place, and they said, let me get you credentialed. Okay. So I got credentialed, and I made a fair bit of money. I wouldn't say I made a lot of money. You don't make a lot of money as a photojournalist, but I made enough to survive and live pretty well. So my wife doesn't support me. That's funny. Even though she makes more than I make because I'm retired and she's got a corporate job, she doesn't support me in any way. You know, I pay for some things for her, and she pays for one thing for me, and that's my insurance. Which, that's fine. It doesn't matter. And we're getting to the point where she may not do that anymore. I may do my own. I don't know. I'll have to see when that comes up. But right now, no. I don't have to worry about it. And so he goes on to say, my wife, does my wife want to work? She never wanted to work, but she thought, I've got a degree, I need to work. But she didn't work for the first 7 years that my kids were alive. She didn't work. I paid all the bills, just like I do now, except for my insurance. That's the only thing she pays. Now, she may go out and get food and stuff like that, but the groceries in the house, I bought. And let me tell you something, sometimes I go out and I spend a shitload on groceries, and then I go, man, I spent more than I expected to. I didn't think I was going to spend 6,000 baht. And then I'm like, well, it'll last us a while. You know, and then usually I'll tell her, listen, go out and get some milk and some bread and stuff like that. Go get it. And she'll go out and buy it. And she doesn't care. Apart from eating, sleeping, and drinking coffee, do you do any charity work, for example? No, I don't do charity. Okay? I just don't do it. Because first of all, that would mean, in Thailand, it would mean I'd need a different visa, first of all. And second of all, I don't want to. I like what I'm doing here. I like what I'm doing. You don't know, I go out and take photos sometimes. I go out and shoot videos sometimes. Sometimes I never put the video up. And I mean, you know, there's a lot of things that I do sometimes. I don't tell people about it. I just do it because it's fun. It's for me. That's it. But I do go out and shoot for YouTube sometimes. Not as much as I used to. But again, I'll be traveling. I went down to the south. I shot all kinds of videos down there. I just got to put the video together and then upload it. And I have some other things I'm doing. And like I said, in January, February, March, there is a chance I will go back to work. I don't know. I'm not sure. I can't be sure. So there you go there. It looks to me that you have just occupied, this is the one that's kind of nasty. It looks to me like you have just occupied a space for some time, and the Thais have just got used to seeing you mooch about, not some great life path to success while others fail. Yeah, I don't really like that word mooch. I don't mooch from anybody. His charity is talking to us degenerative. Yeah, I know. I don't care what this guy writes, but I wrote back to him. And let me just tell you what I wrote, because it needs to be very precise, I would say. But thanks for your passive-aggressive, ill-informed message. I've never mooched about, even though I could have. And let me tell you, I could have. I was a credentialed photojournalist for many years. And for another 10 years or so, I worked in boxing. And that's what people forget. I worked in boxing. I didn't do any YouTube. I didn't do shit. All I did was work in boxing. I had a visa for it. And I was, thank you very much, Raymond. Appreciate that. Give Raymond can we give him a thumbs up here? Let me see. Yes, I think we can. Give him a thumbs up. And I will give him an American in Bangkok little label there. So there you go. All right, thanks. Choke D. Where's this message at? Let me see this little filthy message. I've never mooched. Okay, so where am I? Oh, for 10 years in boxing. And that's the thing. I love that job. To be honest, I loved what I did in boxing. I was a matchmaker, I was a coordinator, and I was an assistant trainer. I did all those things, and I loved it. And I'll tell you why I loved it. It was because I got to travel all over the world, not on my dime. Okay, I got paid very, very well in cash. What else? Oh, I mean, the fights were great. And I got to make the fights, so I picked the people that were fighting, and if they had a great fight, I'd be like, yes, I'm the one who did this. I put it together, and it's fantastic. So I like doing that. That was great. I like being in the gym and working out with the guys every day, and every once in a while going in and sparring with guys and stuff, But no, I don't do charity work. I don't want to, really. And my wife doesn't support me. I pay the bills, smarty pants. I'm lucky. I'm independently wealthy. And why I'm still here is because, I hate to say it, I control my money very meticulously, and I'm smarter than most people. I'm not some stupid ass who comes here and lets some bar girl talk him into turning over $100,000 for her house. I just don't do these kind of things. And I never would. I don't know what's going on over there. I never would, let somebody, talk me. And this is the other thing somebody said the other day, about how, it was the same guy who left this nasty comment. He said, don't you feel bad for the guys who they get taken by the women? And I went, no, I don't feel bad. Why should I feel bad? Oh, because they took them, they told them that they were so into them and they loved them. And that the guy, what's the guy supposed to do? Tell him, I'll put you in my will, you'll get my money when I'm dead? No, that's not what you do at all. But what you do is be smart. You don't, and I said this to people before, but they don't listen. Most guys don't ever listen. If you're going to get involved with the Thai girl, and especially if she doesn't speak Thai, learn how to speak Thai before you commit to anything. Because commit to her family. Marry her family. So that's one thing. The other thing is, I'm sorry, but you should know the culture. Be here for a year. Start getting your fingers wet in different places, and you'll start to learn the culture. And then you'll start to learn how they think. So then when you go into a setting where you might get into a relationship, you are in a position where you kind of know what's going on, what to expect, how to talk, you really should know how to be. That's not a red flag. Why would that be a red flag? Because she speaks English. If she doesn't speak Thai, well then what does she speak? If she's Thai, she's going to probably speak Thai. But if she doesn't speak English, that's not a red flag. And if she does speak English, that's not a red flag. I mean, that's how I think about it. You know, the thing that's funny is now a lot of the newer generation of women here, they do speak English. I mean, the other day, this redhead, she used to work here a while ago, a long time ago, 2 years ago or something. She came back. I go, oh, you're back. Oh, yeah, I came back. I always speak to her in Thai, but then I just decided, I go, hey, what's going on? And she goes, nothing. And I go, what's your name? I go, you speak English? She's like, only a little bit. And I go, a little bit. I started talking to her in English. She spoke English. I was like, okay. An Adam's apple and long fingers could also be a red. Unless that's what you want. I mean, if you don't want that, it's very easily taken care of. You just ignore them. We use English and Thai. We do watch Thai movies, but most of the time I don't like them. If they're good Thai movies, then I like them. If they're not good movies, if they're shitty movies about witches and ghosts and stuff like that, I don't watch them. But, you know, sometimes I'll come in and sometimes I watch entire series that are in Thai. So. Anyway, let me go on here. Oh yeah, I'm already done, so that's good. But that's what that guy wrote to me. Let me see here. Alrighty, let's see here. Anyway, all right, so let me continue here. Let's just work our way through it here. Well, I still don't know exactly what he's talking about. Who looks like Hannibal Lecter? If she's from China, that's a red flag. Yeah, probably. Although that doesn't mean you can't bang her. Listen, I sit here and I probably see 2 or 3 Ha ha ha, oh, it's really funny. Listen, you're not well known enough in this chat to talk to me like that. I don't know, you could look like fucking, you know, Danny DeVito for all I know. I don't know. But I don't give a shit how you look, so why do you care how I look? Fucking Hannibal Lecter, fuck off. Hannibal Lecter ate people, you dumb fuck. You're on the way out, my friend. I hate to tell you that. Just because I don't like you. Has nothing to do with being triggered. I don't put up with any bullshit like you. I don't know who the fuck you are. You've never been in here. You've never said a kind word to me. So shut the fuck up. See you later. Really, I don't have time for people like this. I look like Hannibal Lecter. I got told I look like Robert Conrad the other day. I'm like, Robert Conrad? I got no fucking hair. So, I don't know how many people did the whole test. I don't really know. And it doesn't really matter, but if you really think you're ready, come on down. Come to Thailand. Yeah, don't feed the trolls. Exactly. I know. But I gotta give them the warning. I think maybe next time I just won't give it. From now on, I just won't give any warnings. I'll just boot them out. Oh yeah, I used to like that. That was great. That was a great show. I used to watch that show. What time is it? It's early today now. Bye. I just don't like him. I mean, immediately I don't like him. Why do I need to keep him in my stream? I like everybody most of the time. But if you come at me with something like, you look like an aardvark, man. What do you think? It's like, oh, really? I do? I don't think I do. I'm very comfortable with myself. I don't care. I'm comfortable how I look. I'm comfortable how my body looks. I'm comfortable with everything. But when some guy comes in and makes a comment like, what is the reason for that? There is no fucking reason. It's just to troll me. So, see you later. Bye-bye, troll. It's very easy nowadays. You just fucking hide the motherfucker. He can't see anything. He thinks he can see what he's writing and everything, what everybody's writing, but nobody can see him. So I think it's much better that way. And I love that feature of YouTube. There's a lot of things I don't like about YouTube, and there are some, oh, of course they do. That's all right. He can come back, and I'll ban him again. Yeah, that was a good show. Let me see something. I think it was in the... No, not that shitty movie. I don't want to know about the movie. That's just bullshit. Yeah, 65 to 69. And I used to watch that show. It was in repeats, I think, when I watched it, but... Red West. Is he still alive? Jesus Christ. Let me see here. No, he died about 8 years ago. He was 64, 81 when he died. Oh, I didn't know this. He was a member of Elvis Presley's inner circle, the Memphis Mafia. He boxed in the Golden Gloves. Did not know that. Wow. Pretty cool. So in 65, he would have been, let's say 1970, he would have been 34. Very interesting. Lately, what has been happening is in the evenings, I settle down and I watch a movie or something like that. You watch it with your dad, yeah. Yeah, it was a great show. I liked it. You can still watch it now if you want, but, you know. But what happens is I watch a movie or something, then I'll go, oh. Like last night I watched a movie called Triple Frontier. And Nicholas is telling me, oh, you've seen this movie. You've seen this movie. And I'm like, no, I haven't. I haven't seen the movie. He's like, you saw it with me. And I was like, I don't remember it. I probably fell asleep. And there was, what's the guy's name? The guy from Sons of Anarchy, the Australian guy. He was a young guy. Now he's not that young anymore. Him, and then there's that Pedro Pascal or whatever his name is. And then there's Ben Affleck was in it. There was all kinds of people in it. And it was all right. It was a pretty decent movie. It was, it was kind of like a movie about, they went to go get this money in this drug lord's house, that they knew that the money was there. It was behind the walls. And so they found the money, and they've got all this money. And then as they're going back, they have to give money to this place, give money to these people. They lose this money, and the money starts going down and down and down. By the time that when they get to where they're supposed to be going, it's not about the money anymore. So that was the story, and it was pretty good. But what happens is I always look to see older movies, like Randolph Scott, when 9 or whatever it was. And I always like to do that. And then it amazes me that many of these people died in their 40s or 50s or 60s. I'm like, this guy died at 67. I'm like, that means I only got like 4 years left and I might die. 67, what's going on, man? I gotta live into my 80s, man. I don't want to live into my 60s. But I guess, what are you gonna do? If it happens, it happens. If you go, you go. I'm not losing any connection. If I'm losing a connection, it's probably you, Ben. You have to hit refresh. Solar flare? I didn't see anything. Nothing. What am I gonna do? Anyway. Why? What happens if you live to be 84 and 1 day old? No, nobody's told me that. It's so funny because when you're on camera and you're on YouTube, some people, like, they'll look at you and go, oh, wow. Like Chuck did. He's like, oh, wow, I feel like I know you. Like, you're like this star. And I was like, I'm not a star. I'm not this big star, all right? I'm just a regular old dude. I just threw the camera up, and that's how it is. Yeah, I know that now, but, But people will look at how you look. That's why I'm an American in Bangkok, yes. People will look at you. They'll tell me, oh, you're so fat, Scott. Really? I look that fat? I'm a big dude, but I'm not that fat. Especially now after losing like almost 25 pounds. But, people think, I don't know what else. If I didn't shave, they say, oh, he's a ratty old man. He doesn't even shave. Maybe I didn't want to shave. Maybe that look is what I wanted. What's the problem? It doesn't matter. You know, as you get older, you understand these things. What the person looks like, within reason. I mean, you know, if he's a sloppy, smelly piece of shit, that's different. But within reason, if you look halfway decent, what do you care? I don't care how women look. I don't care how guys look. I don't care. It makes absolutely no difference. You know, really, that's the whole thing. You know what it matters to? Who it matters to? Me. That's it. That's all it matters to. I told my wife yesterday, yeah, I'm thinking about going back to work. Oh, really? Yeah. It might happen. I don't know. I'm not sure. I got to pay for this training fee, and then I'll be up to date, and I can go. Really? Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Okay. And that was it. I told her everything about it. The money, the shifts, everything. And she's like, okay. That was it. She didn't care. Absolutely didn't matter at all. Now, to me, it matters. You know, because everything that I do, it matters to me. It matters what I do. If a video goes up and it does really terrible, I go, ah, shit, no, that one didn't stick. You know, what are you supposed to do? That's it, man. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Now, let me see something here. Closing in on 20,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Supposedly it matters. I don't know. Does it? Maybe. Anyway. Yeah, screw the haters. I don't care about haters. It makes no difference to me. You hate me, you love me. It's nice to be loved, but you know what? Some people just don't like you because they don't like you. So whatever, you know. The only people that really have to like me are my family. Mike! There you go. Karat. How you doing, buddy? How's everything? Nakon rachisima. Hey, you have to sub. You have to be sub for like 5 minutes. Now, if I really wanted to be difficult, I could say you got to be sub for, you know, a month so that no new people could get into the stream and they couldn't just troll me. If I really wanted to do that, but I don't care. That's the thing. It doesn't really matter. I don't know that I said it on this one. I'm not sure if I did or not. Okay. I have a very famous boxer that is my friend that lives in Karat. I think now he's married and he's got a kid and everything. It's Pongsek Lek Wongjang Kam. That's his name. He was the flyweight champion for, I think, 7 years, 8 years. He was champion for a long time. And, you know, he got a little bit of shit because he was supposed to go to the U.S., but he never did. They were making a fight with him and Jorge Arce, which would have been a good fight. But they never did, and that was it. He fought in Japan a couple times. Well, you're at the tail end of the stream. We got about 5 minutes left. It's Are You Truly Ready to Live Here? The Thailand Expat test. So I gave you a little test. And, you know, it's about whether or not you could... Yeah, his name is Pongsek Lek Wangjang Kam. That's probably because she doesn't know much about boxers. But he was a very famous champion back about 10, 12 years ago. And, you know, for a period of about 10 years, he was the man at flyweight. And, you know, everybody knew him in boxing. Everybody who knew boxing around the world really knew about him. Scott blocked someone from the chat. Do they have to set up a whole new YouTube account? Yes. Yes, they do. Or they just need to, They can try with another account that's attached to that YouTube, but it doesn't, I don't think it always works, but if it does work, they just get banned again. No problem, Jay. I'm going to enjoy my Sunday morning. I can tell you next Sunday I won't be streaming. Maybe next Monday, the Monday after tomorrow, because there is a UFC fight I want to see with Kamzat and Drixus. We're out of the look in that. You're 58, she's 50. Well, my wife is 48 and I'm 62. Then I'll hit 63 and then she's going to hit 49. So it works. That's about the most that I would recommend. 14, 15 years is about the most. 8 years is a good spread. Late to the party, but still alive and kicking. You know, if you you get them and they're too young, they just are immature. You're in a different part of your life than they are. And when I met her, she was young. She was like, what was she, 20, 21? And man, getting through that phase of her being so young, and I was kind of a little more set in my ways, was difficult. But then almost to the day when she had our first son, everything changed. You know, she had the kids, and then that was it. She was the mature one, and I was the one who was a little bit, you know, if you're going to say who's immature out of the two of you, it would be me. But it used to be that she was the one who just, yeah, in the beginning she could be a little bit of a pain in the ass for no reason. Anyway, yeah, no judging. I mean, you know, who cares what people think? 8 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, whatever. Now 50 years, you kind of understand. Well, she's 21 and he's 75, so, you know, that's a big gap. But whatever. Yeah, their life, not mine, you know. If I'm 75, I wouldn't mind being with a 25-year-old. You know, I mean, if that's how it was. Yeah, my wife was, well, I met her when she was 20. I'm 8 years older than my significant other. Luckily, neither of us wants kids. Okay. Age is a number. Immaturity lasts forever. Yeah, it sure lasts with me. Well, it does last. With some people, it just seems to be there all the time, and it's glaring. But, God, I've been with my wife for like 27 years now. That's just scary. I think of that and I just go, why? Because you get comfortable. You get comfortable, you know her, she knows you. You know you got somebody you can rely on. They got somebody they can rely on. You know, just, it fits. Anyway, and I hear people complaining about guys who get married here, and I got a whole nother video coming up on that one, and that's the one about a wife for play, which was brought up in the last stream. So anyway, all right, listen, it's time to go. I hate to say this, I hate to close it out, but it is time to go. I gotta go, and I will talk to you guys the next time, which, what's today? Sunday, maybe Thursday. So I'll talk to you guys later. I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Chok di leo jerk and mai. See ya. That's it.